Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 do. Subscribe if you're interested. Hey, I finished House of the Dragon the other day. Now, I know I'm behind, and then I took, like, a review break during October because I had, the Halloween countdown videos. But I reviewed the first 6 episodes, so now I figured I would do kind of like a compilation. That's not the right word. Conglomerate. I don't know. What's the word? A mixed episode review of episodes 7 through 10. Just kind of talk about the essence of them, everything that I thought was cool about them. Maybe not in-depth detail about each episode. So Viserys, is that his name? Like the king? All of the effects that went into him aging, getting older, getting weaker, becoming more sick, more ill, all of that was just fantastic. And towards his last days, they just kept getting better and better and better. And when we're seeing him like laying on basically his deathbed, it was phenomenal. What it was reminding me of is the Dark Knight when we see Two-Face. When we see him, excuse me, I'm a little bit ill. When we see him, got a cold. What am I trying to say? When we see Two-Face laying on the bed and the Joker's coming up, Heath Ledger, and, coming up there, and then we see his face and all of that, like, that sort of care went into the special effects to make him appear weaker and damaged and all of that in the face. It was really good. I thought that was high quality stuff. Now, one thing, though, I'm going to be hopping around with these ideas. One thing, though, that I felt... So I don't watch the little featurettes that come on after the show because my wife has gotten more into the show, but she's not that into it. She wasn't, in the early days, very sold on it. So, like, when she was done watching the episode, she wanted to be done. So we never watched the follow-up episodes. But that's usually not something we do anyway, except for Walking Dead. We do watch Talking Dead. We're behind on that show, though. So, this all could be explained in those featurettes, but I don't know if they should be doing things in the show that you need the featurette to learn about. But anyway, when it comes to Rhaenyra's kids with Damien, I don't know, Matt Smith, she had like some young ones with him. But I felt like I guess we did see her pregnant, but then we see her, she's like showing off these kids to her dad and she's naming them. And she's like, this is Aegon and this is, another one. And I was like, what? You had kids? When did this happen? Like, I just felt like, was that the right way to tell it? Because it confused me right away to where it, like, took me out of the scene. Because, like, I don't remember her having these kids. But, I mean, I guess that's when they're telling us that. But to me, it was just a little bit jarring because I was like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on here. So the scene didn't resonate much for me. Is that right? I don't know. I'm losing my mind right now because I can't breathe out of my nose. Another thing that... gosh, I just lost it. But anyway, the whole like game of Thrones is happening here. I know it's House of the Dragon, but the Game of Thrones is being played right now. We are talking about that throne. When Viserys dies, boom, the game is on. I mean, the game has been on, but now it's really on. And Rhaenyra has been so good and composed and, trying to keep the peace and everything. And people are just constantly working against her and, basically overthrowing her as queen. And she's like, you know what? I am the rightful queen, and I'm gonna try and keep this realm together. Like, but they're overthrowing you, or whatever. They're putting Aegon the Second or whatever in place as king instead of you as queen. And she's like, well, my role is to do what's best, so I'm gonna keep calm. This is probably so gross to listen to because I'm sick. I'm not going to edit this out. This is going to be a one take. I'm so sorry. And, she's just being cool about it. it's like, wow, you are very strong and composed. This is cool. And people are mad at her. They're like, you need to get angry. And she's like, I'm not gonna rule on emotions of anger. But spoilers, eye patch kills her son on accident. It was weird because he's kind of seemed like evil this whole time, and then he, like, his dragon sort accidentally kills her son, and you can hear him saying like, no, 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 don't do it, even though he's been pestering this kid. And then after it happens, you can see on his face like, oh crap, what did I do? And I was very surprised by that reaction because I was like thinking he was like evil, like he was just going to be an evil character. But this could be that he gets an arc to where he's, is good, because that means there's like compassion within him, or he's just scared of what Rhaenyra's going to do to him. I don't know, but it almost seemed like he only wanted to intimidate his cousin, his nephew, his uncle. What is that? Nephew. Um, Not actually kill him, right? So basically, when Rhaenyra hears of this, am I saying her name right? I need to learn these names. Um, when she hears of that, oh man, like, she turns to the camera and basically says, just you wait, audience, wait to see what I'm gonna do to get that throne back. This time it's personal. You want anger? I'm gonna show you anger. So I'm excited to see. I don't think like the next season comes out for like 100 years or something, right? Are we gonna have to wait a long time? Uh, seems like it's gonna be quite a while. So here's another thing. In all my previous reviews, I keep talking about how there's no humor in the show. I really miss Tyrion Lannister. There's no wit. There's no witty characters or anything like that. I've kind of gotten over that. The show's gotten so good to where even though it's like pure drama, I'm okay with it because the show's just really good. It's gotten so good to where the stuff that I miss from Game of Thrones not being in here, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for me anymore. Uh, yeah, so I don't know. I'm like totally on board. It's just like so upsetting that we have to wait for so long, but such is the way of television like this. The seasons are different than it was back in my day in the 90s. You get 10 episodes, then you gotta wait like 2 years to get 10 more. But it's a great show. So if anybody was on the fence and for some reason they're watching this review of episode 7 through 10, go ahead and watch it because I was close to abandoning this show. And I'm so glad I didn't because now I'm on board and my wife is too. Like she's really gotten into it as well. It just took some time to get used to. I don't think it took time to find its footing because I think it had its footing. It's that it took time for us to get used to it. The lack of wit, the drier, more serious tone. It had its footing. It just took us time to get to where it was at, right? Great show. Anyway, I think I had more to say, but I can't remember, and breathing is very difficult right now, so I'm sure you can hear it. Like, I'm only able to breathe through my mouth. Clogged. Clogged. Okay, so, yeah, on that note, what did you think if you watched this? I mean, I'm so behind, I'm sure this video is getting no traction, but anyway, if so, what did you think of these episodes? I thought they were great. Very good. Action packed. The dragons are wild. Oh man, here's another thing. Matt Smith is like taming a dragon right now, and he like imprints on it. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen there. That is gonna be so good. Uh, Also, there's some like foot fetish stuff in this episode. Not episode, second to last episode or something. I was like, oh, this is weird. I wasn't expecting this in the show because it just, I don't know, it was kind of surprising. I just you hear about this a lot on the internet, and then I was like, oh, I think they're trying to capture that audience. They're including that in to the show because it seems like I don't know, that sort of thing's like on the internet. I always see people talking about it. So they're including it into the show. Uh, but I don't know. There was one other thing I was going to talk about, and I can't remember it. um, I don't know. The dragons, though, they are cool. I talked about Eye Patch. I talked about that one. There was one other thing I was going to talk about. What am I doing? Now I'm just kind of like stalling, trying to remember. I probably lost the audience. Nobody's watching this. But yeah, again, Game of Thrones. Check it out. Nope, it's not called Game of Thrones. Have I been calling this show Game of Thrones this whole time? House of the Dragon uh, is it's good. It's a good show. So anyway, take a watch. Give it a watch. I'm sorry. I'm out of it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this, especially if you made it to the end, because I'm sure this was a difficult video to watch, seeing as I have a cold and don't sound healthy. So on that note, thank you again, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Peer Hangout.